Hello, welcome to the video. On the third installment of this series of ranking mega-theropod dinosaurs, we'll be looking at the North American species Acrocanthosaurus atokensis, known as the high-spined lizard. This guy's probably not everyone's first choice for a large carnivorous dinosaur, but I was thinking of making an episode on this guy around the same time I started writing the Tarbosaurus script, so let's get started. For size, Acrocanthosaurus is believed to possibly be one of the largest theropods to roam North America. Based on femoral circumference, the specimen known as NCSM 14345 possibly weighed up to 4.5 metric tons, or as little as 2.7. Using femur circumference and length, this gets up to nearly 5 metric tons, and we can extend this up to 6.2 metric tons if we assume a margin of error of 25%. Theropods and other Dinosauriformes also places Acrocanthosaurus at approximately 4.9 metric tons, and the Vividen in his Every Mega-Theropod video assigns a weight of 5.4 metric tons. Overall, this gives a size score of 4.95 out of 10 for Acrocanthosaurus. The minimum needed for mega-theropod status by my standards is 4,000 kilograms, meaning that Acrocanthosaurus does qualify by a fair amount. For speed, using Larramendi's speed formula, the specimen OMNH10168 was calculated to reach a speed of 27.7 km an hour. This puts Acro at only 0.2 km an hour faster than Tarbosaurus. This is fast for a 5 metric ton carnivore, and not a lot of people would outrun this theropod. Overall, pretty good, awarding Acro a speed score of 5.54 out of 10. As for Biteforce, Acrocanthosaurus wasn't a strong biter. Manabu Sakamoto in 2022 estimated the bite forces of multiple species. Acrocanthosaurus in this study was placed at 8,266 newtons for anterior bite force and 16,984 newtons for posterior bite force. Honestly, that feels kind of weak for such a large animal, but it's worth knowing that Acro's teeth were heavily serrated and the skull wasn't robust or heavily built. This means that it was a predator adapted more for cutting than crunching. Overall, this gives Acrocanthosaurus a bite force score of 12.63 out of 10, which is still pretty good considering it goes over 10 points. Overall, when adding everything, Acro comes to a score of 23.12 out of 30. This puts Acrocanthosaurus in the same tier of power as Tarbosaurus, although Tarbo is on the higher end of that tier, knocking on the door of being in the 30 plus tier. While Acro isn't the largest theropod and doesn't have the strongest bite, this does place Acro as being a powerful theropod overall. One of the main issues Acrocanthosaurus has is that its bite force is not the best. It's several points behind that of both Giga and Tarbo's bite force score, hence why it's not higher up on the tier list. Another one is that it doesn't have that great of binocular vision, although this is something that quite a few mega-theropods appear to have problems with. One possible buff that could be given to Acro is that a theory exists that the high spines of Acro might have been attachment points for large amounts of muscle tissue. This would increase its size score and would boost its strength, although I can't remember how likely this theory is to be true and will probably be covered in a future video. Overall, solid dinosaur with a decent mixture of speed, size and bite force for a mega-theropod, and that's really all I have to say. So that's it for today. Hopefully you will like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time I upload.